Hi everyone, I hope you are safe at home. We are from BIS team and in this video documentary we will talk about a topic of great importance to all. Let's talk about water scarcity. How does Switzerland solve this problem and how can we bring them to Mexico?
Told me of a single day when you didn't need water. I think it is too hard to find one, don't you think? There are too many ways in which we use water. It is necessary for our existence. It is an important element for our hygiene, and it is even necessary for the creation of electricity.
This certainly won't surprise you, as it's easy for you to have water at your fingertips and at your disposal. But what about those women and children who walk for hours every day to get fresh water? Water scarcity affects everyone, partly because water use has increased worldwide, more than double the population growth rate in the last century, and a growing number of regions are reaching the limit where water service cannot provide water, especially in places with arid areas and desert climates.
Mexico is the one of the countries with the greatest water scarcity in the world. So in this video we can see some measures that Switzerland has taken and that we can implement in our country. First, we will start with our team who will talk to about water scarcity and Switzerland. They will explain to us the great problem of water scarcity and how Switzerland has completely solved this problem.
Then the green team will explain to the key aspect of protein environment in Switzerland. To get its weather completely free of pollutants or one point time can be mentioned. On trees use this tag according to the specialist from Habitat Switzerland can play a decisive role in reducing the water footprint. We supporting produce countries, in particular through sustainable water management programs.
And finally, the yellow team will talk to you about the implementation of the methods that Switzerland used to be able to have a responsible consumption of water and how to apply it in Mexico.
All of these issues are of the utmost importance to all of us. We need to take care of water and have a sustainable development and use of it so that we don't suffer from water scarcity and that we can all have quality water for life and that our future generations they have water for their development. Let's start with the documentary video and we hope you like it.
Saving water is with the toilet cisterns, according to a study by BIS Association for the Gas and Water Industry. Every swings flushes almost a third of their drinking water down the toilet every day. Another quarter of the water is used in the shower and bath. The total consumption of water in the bathroom is therefore more than half of the total consumption. Still no water shortage. What does this data mean? Will there be a shortage of water soon? A widespread water shortage cannot yet be anticipated. According to BAFU estimates, Switzerland has large reserves of water, and it is not for nothing that it is considered the Ark of Europe's water. If the amount of water renewed annually is divided by the number of inhabitants, each person has 5,000 cubic meters of water. In an international comparison, this figure is high. 20% of our drinking water comes from lakes, 80% comes from groundwater. About half is spring water. Certainly, in recent times, the water table has dropped, but in the Bafu, they not see this as a cause for concern.
It is estimated that around 5,000 million people face water scarcity each year. One of the countries that is the best developing and effective fight to drain policies is Switzerland. which ranks first in the protection of environment, an attitude that comes from behind since during the 17th and 18th. The cantons and the municipalities applied ambitious environmental policies promoted by the Confederation. Switzerland is considered among the countries with the highest environmental efficiency index, signs in invents in the control of water and air pollution, in other elements of environmental infrastructure. Switzerland is rich in groundwater. Groundwater resources occur almost everywhere and represent an important natural and economic resource. With its 1,500 lakes, countless streams, rivers, and its glaciers, this country not only benefits from abundant valuable freshwater resources, but their quality can also be considered as good from microbiological and chemical point of view.
Only 3% of the world's water is fresh water, and two-thirds of that is tucked away in frozen glaciers of other ways, unavailable for our use. As a result, some 1.1 billion people worldwide lack access to water, and a total of 2.7 billion find water scarce for at least 1 month of the year. Inadequate sanitation is also a problem for 2.4 billion people. They are exposed to diseases such as cholera and typhoid fever and other waterborne illnesses. 2 million people, most children, die each year from diarrheal disease alone.
There is no water scarcity in the world as such. Instead, there are a number of regions in the world that suffer from water scarcity. 29 of deaths because the use of this resource has more than doubled in relation to the rate of increased population in the last century. In contrast, in Switzerland, the water scarcity is classified as low. This means that there is a 1% chance of a drought in the next 10 years. Switzerland is home to about 6% of the freshwater reserves of the European continent. With its mountainous terrain, Switzerland is an excellent reservoir.
Key aspect of environment protection in Switzerland. The quality of life in Switzerland is associated with lakes, mountains, and clean air. The natural environment is an integral part of Swiss identity. In recent years, the Federal Council and the people of Switzerland have implemented a series of concrete measures. These are some of the key aspects of Swiss environmental policy.
Research and education. The research landscape in Switzerland in respect of water is highly varied, and a wide range of educational opportunities exist at basic and advanced levels. The combination of natural and social scientists and engineers permit a wide range of water research across the continuum from relatively unperturbed aquatic ecosystems to fully engineered wastewater management systems. The Swiss National Science Foundation (SNSF), the most important Swiss institution for promoting scientific research, has launched a national research program. The researchers present their results to decision makers and the interested public, thereby promoting the awareness of the program in political and public discussions. Finally, the industry association SBGW and BSA offer numerous further training opportunities, including courses, professional conferences, information in the form of journals, etc.
Data on water quality. Water quality in Switzerland can essentially be rated as very good. For some uses or where it is difficult to improve this access or to make corresponding nationwide data available to the public. For example, here is no central overview on the quality of drinking water in Switzerland, and corresponding data must be obtained from the cantons and water suppliers, the development of national drinking water data source probably help us in this respect.
Preserving water quality is a national responsibility on water implementation in Switzerland. Switzerland is something called the water tower of Europe, and has many lakes and rivers such as the Rhine and the Rhone, which originate in this territory. These purification stations that were built in the 16th and 17th guarantee a very high quality of water. To eliminate micropollutants caused by crop protection products in agriculture, Switzerland decided to add a new step in the treatment of rainwater in more than 1,000 water treatment plants. One of the success factors in the case of Switzerland consists in educating its citizens environmentally from a very early stage. In other words, from the time the boys and the girls attend kindergarten, they come into contact with natural spaces. Likewise, there is an efficient control. In Switzerland, they are not full of environmental regulation, but the actions in this regard are so effective that they have managed to position themselves as world leaders in the matter.
The public adhere to being informed about the protocol mainly by the FPH Water and Health website 136 and corresponding media relays. Further information on drinking and bathing water can be found on this website. Furthermore, according to the Food Ordinance, all drinking water suppliers are obligated to provide information about the quality of the supplier's drinking water at least once years. Many suppliers use the drinking water drinking in Switzerland internet platform, which has been set up in private free or changed by the SPGW 137. Important information on drinking and bathing water is also made available to the public by the Canton Laboratories AG in the inform for the their annual.
The planet has 525 million kilometers of water, of which annually in Mexico a Mexican consumes 184.6 liters of water a day. Where does the water come from? 61.1% from sources such as rivers, lakes, and streams, while 38.9% comes from aquifers. As we know, we have a lot of problems related about the water resources in Mexico. A lot of people ignore the damage that they cause for a bad use of the water. The Mexico government doesn't give a good importance to water bodies. That's why some companies throw in the water bodies the waste that they generate. In some water bodies doesn't have security, and when the people go to vacation, they throw the garbage in the water. Some beaches depends on the water bodies, and if someone contaminates that water, they are going to get some diseases. That's only some examples how in Mexico treat the water bodies. The amount of potable water is alarmingly reduced year after year due to contamination. 9 million Mexicans do not have potable water. How can we solve it? Trash is only collected if it has a pay stamp, but recycling is free. So, in other words, a cost is placed on non-recycled garbage in such a way that a natural incentive is generated. In this sense, they also implement waste collection at various points. The sustainable water management program used in Switzerland could be applied in Mexico, such as make various talks about water care, which companies get together to go with schools, jobs, house, states, etc. Make advertisements, side documents, collect signatures, and others, so that over the years the new generations know how to get the water clean and healthy, so that there are no shortage and that in few years we will not have to pay thousands of pesos just to drink water. Since as technologies advance, we are neglecting our planet. Water care companies could even be created, finding those who waste or pollute.
Some will be the acceleration of the implementation of ecological flows, the sustainable use of hydrobiological and mineral resources, sustainable exploitation of species and extraction of mineral aggregates directly affects aquatic biodiversity and the ecosystem process on which they depend. Destruction of construction materials such as gravel and sand for rivers has become a severe problem in many regions. These activities not only directly alter the habitat but also affect the river hermorphological process that generates impacts on the downstream ecosystem and alter the balance of the entire chain of aquatic life. The protection and restoration of river connectivity and the protection and restoration of critical habitats for biodiversity, the establishment of water quality criteria, monitoring who is causing the infractions, influence behavior through regulation and compliance, establish and enforce well-defined emissions rights which help to guarantee optimal use of resources include water quality, effective measures for protection of groundwater quality, and create public policy according to the needs of each state and municipality to allocate annual budget to create strategy and action regarding the care and preservation of water.
Another of the success factors in the case of Switzerland consists of the environment education of its citizens from a very early stage in the world, from the time the boys and girls to the kindergarten they come in the contact with natural space. They handle incentives such as advertising, recycles, companies, etc. Educate yourself about bodies of water and aquatic life. Alive and either connected the body of waters on the their inhabitants. The more you learn about your satisfaction with this beta system, the more you will want to ensure its well-being, then share that knowing to spirit others. As we know, there is great technological advance in the world, which is already working to reduce the pollution that humans have caused over time. Mexico can invite incentives to break the fastest and most effective without having to buy and brag in India and other countries.